Overall is to simplify everything, keep everything short, succinct. I think one of the things that a lot of people fall into the trap of is to over-explain an idea. It's always best to start from the insight and then find your solution based off that insight. I thought it was a very simple thought.
I think I noticed that, especially when they submit for video, right, most of them, I mean, with interesting editings or that will kind of stands out. I mean, ideas is still king, but if the execution can actually enhance the idea, that would be the best.
In terms of, I think presentation is always very important because what we see sometimes is just what they have submitted. So as long as the presentation itself, I think, is done in a very good way, I mean, it definitely attracts the quality of the work because they have to keep in mind sometimes we don't have the hard copy itself or digital. I mean, it all comes down to presentation. Yeah. So yeah, I think presentation is one of the key elements that they should, and of course, concept behind it. Yeah.
Lastly, do you have any other comments which you'd like to share?
I think, no, I think that's about it. Okay. Congratulations to the students, to the winners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the things that, while we are judging, really look out for, really helps the entry is your presentation. That means how you are photographing your project. If you're sending in extra content to back up your supporting evidence, back up your entry, I think that's really helpful for the judges because it's really difficult to see how well a book is designed if it's just a JPEG. So presentation, I think, is going to make the difference in the future. Yeah.
Okay.
The key is still the same. Be passionate, be very, very, very passionate, and look at the past winners and position yourself accordingly. Like if you think this is good enough, that means maybe you're not kicking yourself hard enough. If you think like, oh, I've done 100 items, that's good enough to impress the judges, but somebody else is doing 500 items on top of that. I'm not just talking about quantity, but quality as well. So the most important thing is passion, is still passion. If you have the passion, it will fuel all this interpretation and the execution, and you just go on and on like a train, like a bullet train, and you can't stop.
Filmmakers are first and foremost storytellers. And I think they do have to search deep within them about what they want to share, what their perspective on life is, what is the story that they want to tell, first and foremost, and not be very caught up in trying to mimic others.
Nowadays, it is very easy to make a film with your iPhone and with your iMovie. People who are keen to enter should always focus on the story. It is always the story no matter what. I mean, your genius in manipulating FCP, your iMovie, is just gravy. It will always be the story.
I think what we really are looking for is like fresh, original ideas and voices. As I know that for students to make a film, it's not very easy because they have to go through a lot of things, and they look for money and they look for people for help, and sometimes they're very insecure what they want to do. But very, very important that you have to learn is, find your own voices. Don't try to be copycats. It's okay that you make a little bit of mistakes here and there, but just don't copy what others have done before, because you will never do better than the others, what have done before. So be yourself and concentrate on what you really want to say. I think that's the most important thing to learn.
If you want to make a film, it has to come from your heart. That's the best thing I would say to anyone, not just students, but to anybody who aspire to make film. Just follow your heart and find your own voice, and probably just watch a lot of films.
Meaning that they just can't focus their thoughts on creating an application in terms of an execution manner. They need to think about the bigger picture in terms of how their creation or their ideation will create a solution for the society, create a creative outcome for themselves as well as for people who are using it, which means the audience itself.
Idea is king. So basically, go nuts, go crazy, explore, surf more, do more, and just bring out the best idea to, at the end of the day, and those are the ideas that shine.
If you can clearly explain
your idea, be it in a video or like in the simplest form possible. Within that maybe 15 seconds for the judge to actually understand what you're trying to convey. I think that itself, it's going to be one big thing that would separate you from the other entries.
And I think for future students to enter or to participate, I think they should look at photography as a medium and not be limited to current or accepted aesthetics in the industry. I think, you know, but also be thoughtful and be original.
I think the advice will really be to explore, you know, what you really want to communicate, and what is within you that you really want to express. And I think when it's true, it will just appear in the work.
At this level, you should be able to push yourself more to think beyond that level, you know, because otherwise it's just images.
Usually you choose a topic that you find interesting, and it also makes sense to the future clients that are looking at your work or the future agencies that are looking at your work. So because we do see a lot of experimental work submitted, and to be frank, sometimes though the work might look exciting and beautiful, but the future employers might not know how to use the kind of work or the kind of talent you have for their day-to-day projects. So I would say try to work on projects that are more grounded, have a proper client, and put heart into the work and be very crafty and conceptual about the work. I think then that will definitely get you something at Crowbar. Yeah.